Hey everybody, today we are going to be talking about high sensory content, specifically when it comes to neurotypical people like me. Now, Alistair, who's on the spectrum, you would think, would like very quiet settings, very low sensory settings like most people on the spectrum. However, there are some people on the spectrum who really crave high sensory input. And sometimes it fluctuates. It goes from one end to the other. Sometimes he tries to avoid it. Sometimes he really loves it. In fact, I'd say out of our other two boys who are on the spectrum, he loves high sensory content the most. He seeks it the most. In fact, and to be perfectly honest, and I'm not picking on Alistair when I say this, it gets a little bit annoying to me and Brittany, my wife, sometimes, because he will listen to like fire alarm videos. He'll listen to cats meowing really loud. He'll listen to deep space noises that sound really abstract. He just loves really high sensory stuff.
The loudest song in the world. This is the loudest song in the world.
That's terrible. It's like someone turned the volume to 800 and let the speakers tear apart.
What do you like about this, buddy?
I like all the crazy noises.
Yeah.
I like all the glitching.
That's fun.
Oh, it's so bad.
Now, explain again why you like this video.
I like the meowing and
Do you think it's funny? It's cats fighting?
yes.
And why is that?
So Alistair plays this. It's like late at night sometimes, and I hear this coming from his room. Oh, it's so bad. The tables have turned. It used to be that
I can't
we would
stop
make
laughing.
too much noise and annoy our autistic kids. Now it's he makes too much noise and annoys us.
It's not
This is
real.
how big it is. This is an
It's
80
a
kilometer.
fake monster, but that's okay.
Yes, I like the sound of it. It sounds like a dog. It sounds like a million foot tall dog echoing.
Sounds annoying is what it sounds like.
Why are autistic kids drawn to really annoying sounds, do you think?
Well, maybe they don't perceive it as annoying. They just like the high sensory input. So while some try to get away from high sensory because it's like walking around with a migraine and someone flipping on and off the lights and playing loud music, there's the opposite. I don't know what I'd compare it to.
Alistair.
Maybe the feeling of someone wanting to go out and party, be with friends, and being isolated and kept up and having cabin fever. They start to get a little stir crazy. Like, I want to go out. I want to be with my friends. Kind of like being grounded. That's what it's like for Alistair. He wants to get out. He wants to have that interaction. He wants to have that stimulation.
It's funny because we know this other young child who is also on the autism spectrum, and they don't like all the noises Alistair makes, when they sit next to them, except that this kid is also really loud. And it's funny, like sometimes it's an irony that autistic people, are often like the biggest sources of noise in their household, and yet they can't handle it. Like they can't handle any noise that they don't make themselves, which is really funny.
So for the record, we're not making fun of them when we laugh. We just find it humorous that they hate loud noises when it's someone else making the noises, but when it's them making the noises, it's okay. So basically it's on their terms.
Yes.
That's what they're like. It's okay when it's on their terms.
And don't get me wrong, it can be really trying. I remember when the older boys were younger and Connor had a vocal stim just screaming, which is fairly common, but I actually lost some hearing in my ears because of just how often and how frequently, how loudly he would scream all the time. Yeah, Rob's laughing as I say this, but it's true. Just Anyway.
There's this game I think he calls Geometry Dash, and that's another one that he loves to play. And he'll just sit there and stim to the bright lights and sounds all day long. He just loves it.
Very loud. Crazy.
Crank it, buddy.
Is that awesome?
Yes.
And you practiced a lot at this, huh? You're pretty good at this game.
Keep going, Alistair. Play it through.
Nice.
So I thought it was kind of an interesting little plot twist, because most times it's the other way around. You have neurotypical people who are in a very noise polluted world making lots of noise, and autistic people on the spectrum generally try to avoid that. They don't like all the high sensory stuff going on. But what happens when the tables are turned, right? Now we know what it's like to feel high sensory input when we don't want it. And I've described it many times before, and I've asked my kids about it, like how it feels when you have too much high sensory input coming in and it gets overwhelming. And you might compare it to like a migraine, right? Or I don't drink, but if any of you have ever had a hangover, that type of thing, where there's too much light coming in, too much sound, you just kind of want to do one of these things and just cover it all up. So that's kind of what it's like to someone on the spectrum who's trying to avoid high sensory input. But for us in this case, I thought it was kind of funny, you know, just kind of a little anecdote where things turned around on us. And we love Alistair. He's a great little kid. But just wanted to share that with you and ask you if you have any examples of that in your own lives, whether you're neurodivergent or neurotypical, let us know. And with that, we'll see you guys in the next video.